Hey guys, XJ here. So recently there have been several videos from other content creators covering the never-ending iRating topic.
The answer to a never-ending story.
So today we're going to review the actual iRating data and take a look at the oval iRating across all drivers in iRacing. So let's get started. Love it or hate it, iRating is always a topic of discussion in the iRacing community. Recently, some sim racing content creators have discussed why iRating is not all that important. And although some great points were made from those creators, there are still some burning questions out there, such as where does my iRating rank in the grand scheme of the iRacing world? What's the top 50%? Or the top 25%? Am I above average? Below average? What is an average iRating? There's some good data charts out there, but most of the data is relatively old, 12 months or more that I have found, and only really focus on one discipline, such as road or oval. As a result, I decided to pull the data myself. So today we are going to take a deeper dive into the iRating data realm and even look at some fun stats too. This will be a multi-part series so we can go over all of the disciplines in iRacing individually, that being road, oval, and dirt road. Yes, all four. Now, the data contains all the drivers within the database, so I decided to cleanse the data a bit to establish a baseline for comparison purposes. For oval, there are over 335,354 total drivers in the data. So I removed the drivers first with a negative iRating. Yes, negative iRating. Don't ask because I don't know. I would imagine these are maybe deleted, banned, or possibly inactive accounts, but I cannot state that with any type of certainty. After removing those drivers, it brought the number down considerably to 178,695. From there, I decided to only look at drivers with 10 or more races. And that leaves us with 160,429 drivers for the following stats. Considering that 154,994 or 96.6% of those drivers have an iRating of 3250 or below, I decided to focus on that population. The number at the bottom of the column represents iRating by group, and the numbers at the top of the column represents the number of drivers within that group. For example, the second column from the left represents 500 to 749 iRating and contains 8,623 drivers within that group. As you can see, there's an abundance of drivers in the 0 to 3,250 iRating range. Once a driver's iRating is above 1,500-ish, the numbers begin to change significantly in the amount of drivers moving forward. Now, the average iRating across all these drivers is 1499, but that does not mean that that is considered the 50th percentile or top 50%. We'll get to that next. When we look at all the drivers from the population considered, from an iRating of 1 to 10K, almost 11,000 at this point, this is where the percentages actually fall. If you have an iRating of 3,210 or above, you are actually in the 90th percentile or top 10% of all drivers in iRacing. If you have an iRating of 2,101 or above, you are in the 75th percentile or top 25% of all drivers. And if you have an iRating of 1,555 or above, you are in the 50th percentile or top 50% on iRating. Yeah, I think this is rather interesting and maybe even puts some of you at ease if iRating consumes you from time to time like it has a tendency to do for some drivers. I think we've probably all suffered from that at some point. It's rather easy to be improperly influenced, maybe that's a term, into thinking that your iRating of 1750 is terrible, when in reality, it really isn't. So just because your favorite iRacing content creator has an iRating above 3,000, keep in mind how small that population truly is. You don't need to have an iRating above X to consider yourself a good driver. If you're above average, you should be proud of your iRating.
Don't worry, be happy.
If you're not, you're probably closer to getting in the 50th percentile than you thought. My hope in showing you all this data is it will support the idea that your iRating is not important as a number when valued as a score or a reflection of your driving ability. iRating split haters be damned. Now let's look at some fun stats, or at least some interesting ones. Some of the names will not be mentioned to protect the innocent. The most races right now is held by Lawrence Pollock with 16,426 race starts. His next closest competitor is 1,866 races away. Unbelievable. The highest iRating is held by James Curl at 10,776 with 1,983 race starts and over 1,200 wins. He holds a 64.6% win rate. And the lowest iRating actually is 1 with 180 race starts, 2 wins, and the holder of a C-Class license. The next stat I wanted to look at was the average incidence by iRating grouping. I grouped these in 500 group chunks, so you'll see across the screen. I found this very interesting, that there's really not that much difference across the board from 1250 to 3250 when it comes to average incidence per iRating group. Now you can see the driver total, which is significant for these groups as it moves forward and gets much smaller. But in regard to the incidents, they really don't change that much. So I hope this was informative for all the drivers out there suffering from iRatingitis. I'm sure we all have from time to time, but when you look at the numbers as a whole, you quickly realize, hey, my iRating is not really that bad. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. It greatly helps the channel and I do appreciate it a ton. Also, make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell icon. That way you're notified anytime I upload new content. Until next time, this is XJ. I'll see you on the track.